Okay, right now we're going to take apart one of the fluid regulators. It's an air piloted regulator. Air comes in here, activates a diaphragm that pushes on a ball and opens up the regulator. To get to the diaphragm, you'll first take off 6 screws, 6 bolts on top. Here, right underneath here, there's an O-ring that is doesn't need to be replaced every time. It's a standard O-ring. You replace it only if it is damaged. And you take out the centerpiece here, which is stainless steel, and then you're going to see this copper brass ring right there, and your diaphragm. And if you push on it, push it down, your diaphragm will come out. Teflon on the fluid side, rubber on the air side. And in your PM schedule that is created for you guys, you'll have to replace this diaphragm every once in a while. But usually, if it's in there, you're running oil through it, so this diaphragm should last you a very long time. The thing that might break down quick on you, if you have trash that's in the lines, is you might have something jam the ball in a position where it will not close all the way, and possibly if you're putting it together, you might break that little pin. The pin pushes the ball down, which opens up the regulator. Now, on the bottom side of the regulator, there's a big nut. Right in here is the ball and spring. Get to that, just put it in a vise. Try not to damage the threads on the fluid there. The fluid hooks up. Take this right off. Before you take it out all the way, just make sure it's really loose. Take it out of the vise again. So you don't drop the ball. Right in there is the spring that I was talking about. And with a small pick or an Allen wrench, take that right out, and you'll see that the spring is conical, tree shaped. Basically the ball will sit on top. A lot of people, first couple times that they take the regulators apart, they put it in backwards. The ball will just sit right inside there and always be open. And inside the regulator, inside you see a ball and you see a seat. If the ball doesn't fall out, you can take a small pin, pick, whatever, push out the ball, and when you're putting it back together, the ball will be sitting on top of the spring there. There's also a seat to take that out, push from the inside out, push that out, and on the bottom side you will see the seat. It's a carbide seat. The ball sits right on there. When you're repairing these things, just make sure that there's no nicks, grooves, scratches, or anything in that seat. Make sure the ball is perfectly round. You don't have any nicks or anything in the ball. And if it's all good, you can put it right back together. On the inside, underneath the seat, is a Teflon O-ring. You don't have to change that every single time, but just make sure that you are seating in there. There's no nicks or gouges in the in that seal. Put it back together. You take the seat, put it back in, make sure it seats down all the way. You'll see that it's not flush, but make sure that it's same depth all the way around there. And you're going to take the ball, put the ball right in there. Take the spring, put it right inside the holder there. Tighten it down as much as possible by hand. And if you see, I did not put any Loctite or any kind of thread sealant on there because it seats in there pretty good. No reason to put any kind of sealant in there. Take your wrench, tighten it down the rest of the way, and just snug it up. And then double check to make sure that the ball, look through the holder there, make sure the ball is definitely seated. Then when you're putting this back together, you're going to take the center part right here, bottom part, you're going to take the Teflon pusher, take a little bit of grease, for lubrication purposes, that right around the slide right there. Slide that right together. Make sure that you have everything lined up, all the holes lined up there. Set this right on top. Line up the holes. Make sure your O-ring is still in there. And it does not matter how this lines up. Just set it right on there. Tighten down the bolts. Always better to go in a crisscross pattern just in case if you don't have it seated on there correctly. It helps pull it down without damaging any of the parts. And then finish tightening those up, you just put it right back into your vise, and you just snug them up. That's your regulator.